Kandia for the win in Istanbul. The locals from his village watched their son battling
Mororo. Lakini pia tulikuwa tuko na imani huyo kijana yetu Kipigwa Kandie atashinda. Na wakati tulikuwa tunaomba tangu last week tukiomba ya kwamba Kipigwa atashinda. Na Mungu pia ameona na ametuonekania Kipigwa ameshinda leo.
Furahia yeye sana kama wakaaji wa Jeberen. So ombi letu tu ya kwamba Kipigwa ng'ang'ana na pia ukumbuke na wenzako wale wadogo, kumbuka ya kwamba umeset pace kwa hawa. So ukiwa kiongozi yao pia washike mkono nao pamoja, muendelee pamoja na yeye.
Heko to Team Kenya to Easter celebrations across the country. Christians across the country joined their counterparts across the world to celebrate Easter Sunday in commemoration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. A spot check by KBC Channel 1 in one of the churches in Nairobi revealed most faithful opted to remain at home and follow the respective sermon through online platforms. The preachers calling on Kenyans not to lose hope amid challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Ruth Wambui reports.
Easter Sunday celebration for the second year running saw churches host only a few congregants. At the Holy Family Basilica, His Eminence John Cardinal Njue led the Resurrection of the Lord Mass with a few priests and few worshippers present, as many followed the Mass from home via the live broadcast on KBC Channel 1.
Personally, I make very special appeal to those concerned with the limitations of this, that they may really think very seriously with regard to the good of the people of God.
At the All Saints Cathedral, the situation was the same. Only a few congregants, the choir and the clergy, led by Provost Sami Wainaina, who delivered a message of power of victory over death.
God has emptied the church, has allowed the church to be emptied, the physical church to be emptied, so that men and women of God can be filled of the Spirit. So the mission was never to fill churches. The mission was to fill God in the lives of the people.
At the Stewards Revival Pentecostal Church, the Easter Sunday preaching was being streamed online, with Bishop Samuel Njiriri encouraging Christians to look up to Jesus Christ alone during these difficult times.
Because when we see, when tukifungua macho tuone mambo ambayo yanaendelea katika nchi na katika dunia yote, we will be distracted.
This even as the clergy urged the government to stop turning a blind eye to the problems Kenyans are facing.
Sasa bei ya petroli ikipanda, wakati kama huu bei ya petroli ikipanda, si watoto wa Mungu, si wananchi wana Kenya wataendelea kutabika zaidi. Je, mbona serikali haiwezi kuona hivyo? Unashangaa hata wale ambao maaskari ambao mnahongwa wakati huu wa kafyu, mjue ya kwamba hatuna pesa mingi ya kuwahonga.
Wanapata uponyaji ni kwa nyumba ya Mungu. Bana, hata sisi hatuwezi tukataka watu wetu wakufe. Tunawapenda na tungetaka waishi tuwe tukiwaona, lakini tutatii, na ningeombea wachungaji wetu tutii.
In the streets of Nairobi, a cross-section of city dwellers interviewed shared their experiences during this Easter season amid meeting and travel restrictions.
Kuweza kwenda kanisani kwa sababu kanisa zimefungwa huku Nairobi, lakini tuliweza kufuatilia misa iliyokuwa inaletwa na Caption TV.
Sasa tunaboeka juu sasa hakuna otherwise. Sasa serikali inafaa ituweke at least tuende kanisani leo.
Tumekaa kwa nyumba, tukaonelea tutoke kidogo, tutembea huku.
Haijakuwa poa kwa ajili mimi ni pastor, napenda Mungu zaidi. Kwa hivyo siku ya leo imebomba mpaka ikabidi nitoe watoto at least wasishinde kwa nyumba.
On an Easter Sunday like this one, when Jesus Christ resurrected, some of the churches like the one behind me are streaming their services online to their congregants. Ruth Wamboi for Channel 1 Weekend.
And it was low-key celebration of the Easter Sunday in Kisumu County as most people opted to keep off social places amid the COVID-19 third wave scare. Places of worship allowed only a few congregants as per the government's directive to contain the spread of the virus. Other social places such as entertainment joints and market centers were equally deserted. Wycliffe Okech reports.
At St. Joseph's Catholic Church, Milimani in Kisumu, congregants gathered to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Only a few worshippers were allowed in the chapel, with others following the Holy Mass from outside in line with protocols by the government to contain the spread of the deadly coronavirus. Reverend Father Manuel Okello calling on the Christian family to be each other's keeper during this period of agony, even as he employed upon the congregants to adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols.
What our President Uhuru Kenyatta gave us, those directives, let us follow them, and also the directives given to us by the Ministry of Health. They are for our own good. When we are our brother's keeper, we will go through this and we will conquer the way Jesus has conquered death.
Meanwhile, most social joints remained deserted as Kisumu residents opted to celebrate Easter Sunday at home amid the coronavirus third wave scare. Vendors and other business operators decrying low sales as only a few people visited the usually busy Dunga Beach Market and the Impala Sanctuary.
Kazi jakuwa nzuri sana kutoka Friday kutoka waeke lockdown. Unajua tumekuwa tukiexpect clients na ama customers from Nairobi.
Tumeogopa corona. Sasa watu wenye wanakuja tu kidogo kidogo, biashara iko chini kabisa.
The reason why we came here is because we wanted to have fun and see the wildlife that is in Impala Sanctuary. This is not the first time we are coming here, though this time around watu ni wachache. I think it's because of COVID.
It's just nice to see them here as well, just having fun, enjoying Easter.
Okay. The transport sector too was not spared, with public service vehicle operators urging the government to relook the decision to impose a lockdown on 5 counties, which they say has far-reaching consequences.
There is no business in Kisumu. Hakuna customer unaweza beba. Uwanja wa ndege sasa wamefunga. Kama sisi watu wa taxi, hata magari zetu zingine chukua na loan.
Wakati kama ya Pasaka huwa tunachota kuchota, lakini sasa hii ni ngumu zaidi.
Wycliffe Okech reporting for Channel 1 News from Kisumu County.
While Pope Francis says he hopes the dark times of the pandemic could end and that people could rediscover the grace of everyday life. While celebrating the Easter Sunday, the Pope said in these dark months of the pandemic, the world should listen to the risen Lord as he invites all to begin anew and never lose hope. The Pope said God is inviting all to overcome barriers, banish prejudices and draw near to those around them every day in order to rediscover the grace of everyday life.
Pope Francis celebrated Mass on Easter Sunday morning at the Vatican Basilica, with a small number of the faithful estimated to be 100 present. The controlled number of congregants being experienced in many parts across the globe as nations try to contain the worrying COVID-19 surges. Pope Francis delivered a message of hope and renewal, saying it is always possible to begin anew because there is a new life that God can awaken in us in spite of all our failures. At the same time, Pope Francis called for vaccines to be delivered among the poorest nations as COVID-19 surges. He urged the international community to commit to overcoming delays in the distribution of vaccines.
Turning on to the COVID-19 latest numbers, let's get to the vaccine story. And the Kenya Medical Association has faulted commercialization of the Sputnik 5 vaccine in the country. KMA says the move was likely going to set a bad trend that could see most citizens locked out of the vaccination exercise, urging the government to ensure all vaccines offered in the country are either free or affordable to all.
The Kenya Medical Association, KMA, is criticizing the manner in which the ongoing vaccination exercise in the country is being conducted. In a statement, KMA President Dr. Were Onyino claims that the vaccine's rollout is being conducted in a haphazard manner. In its recommendation, KMA proposes, among other things, a public-private partnership to fast-track the vaccination of Kenyans and ensure the process is accountable. KMA also proposes that vaccines to be imported must be approved by the World Health Organization and that importation, pricing and rollout of the vaccines be aligned to national and global policies and strategies. Similarly, the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, PSK, wants the government to pronounce itself on the controversial pricing of the Sputnik 5 vaccine. Regarding the COVID-19 AstraZeneca vaccine, PSK has allayed fears of any serious side effects from the vaccine. In a statement, PSK acknowledges that all vaccines have side effects and it was the responsibility of those vaccinated to report any side effects they may experience. PSK says all vaccines approved by the Kenyan government offer 100% protection against severe COVID-19 disease.
The country has in the last 24 hours recorded 911 new cases of COVID-19 from 6,045 samples tested, indicating a 15.1 positivity rate over the same period. According to the daily brief by the Minister of Health, 18 deaths were reported, raising the total fatalities to 2,224. At the same time, 198 patients are fighting for their lives in the intensive care units in various hospitals across the country. So far, a total of 282,518 people have been immunized against COVID-19 across the country.
The new 911 confirmed cases takes Kenya's coronavirus caseload to 138,988 from a total of 1,517,637 tests undertaken 384 days since the pandemic was first reported in the country. From the latest cases, the youngest is a 2-year-old baby, while the oldest is aged 98. Nairobi County tops with 536 new cases, followed by Kiambu at 91, Nyeri at 20, Meru 16, Kilifi 11, Garissa 10, Isiolo, Kericho, Kirinyaga, Kisumu and Nandi have 1 case each. 533 patients have recovered in the last 24 hours, 420 from the home-based isolation and care, and 113 from hospitals countrywide. A total of 1,536 patients are currently admitted in various hospitals countrywide, while 5,903 are on home-based care and isolation. 198 patients are in the intensive care unit. On Sunday, the Ministry of Health reported that the country lost 18 patients, taking the death toll to 2,224. For Channel 1 News, I'm Ben Troinjue.
On a separate matter, the Kenya government has now hit back at the United Kingdom for banning travelers and those transiting through Kenya from April 9th. In a retaliatory move, the Minister of Foreign Affairs says those originating and transiting through United Kingdom from 9th April will have to undergo 14 days mandatory quarantine at a government-designated facility at their own cost. The same travelers will also be subjected to 2 COVID-19 tests on the 2nd day after arrival and the 8th day.
Starting April 9th midnight, passengers originating from or transiting through UK airports arriving to Kenya will now be required to go through mandatory 14-day isolation at a government-designated facility at their own cost. Upon entry into Kenya and while on isolation, the travelers will be subject to take 2 PCR COVID-19 tests on day 2 and 8 of their quarantine, that too from their own pockets. The new measures follows the decision by the United Kingdom government to include Kenya in the red list of countries which has been banned due to COVID-19 pandemic. Cargo flights between the two countries will, however, continue normal operations as they are exempted. Kenyan nationals resident in the United Kingdom or transiting through the UK airports are also exempted. Despite the measures announced, Kenya has committed to continue genome sequencing of the virulent UK strain of the virus and share its data with the United Kingdom and the world to join in the fight against the pandemic.
Keep tweeting. We are also live on Facebook and YouTube. You can stream this broadcast live. We are now taking a fast commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We still have plenty more to come, including the final part and the fourth of our series, the BANE of teenage pregnancy, of course, brought to you by Caroline Kamau and Safina Cheng Oma. Stay tuned for that and more.
Aya basi, ladies and gentlemen, ndio hii hapa.
Note that this is the Nissan Note we are giving out. Wacha kuchelewa.
Nissan Note. Na hii Easter, this is the only time tunawapatia hii Nissan Note. As you can see, inakungojea wewe. So question is, will you be the bidder for this Nissan Note? What do you have to do? Very simple. Enda pale M-Pesa, ingia paybill, weka paybill number 4032353. Kisha itakuitisha account number. Hapo kwa account number, utaanza na the code for the day, ambayo ni NOTE. N-O-T-E, followed by your unique number. Baada ya hiyo, itakuitisha amount. Amount unaweka shilingi 44 peke yake, yani 40 Kenya shillings. After that, weka pin number yako na tuma. We will notify you as to whether wewe ndio lucky bidder ama uendelee kujaribu zaidi.
Na sunipeni pelekee kuhu hata nyumbani aone vile ninatesa Nairobi.
Next on.
Maji, yule anataka maji. Wapangaji ambao wanayamiliki hayo maji kana kwamba ni yao.
Hakuna leo kuchota maji hapa.
Ulale huko. Mimi ni mke usubu yote nije nipange line hapa. Wewe ukija tu na mtungi uje uchote. Special sana. Huyu naomba, wewe naomba, unaomba. Unaomba nini dadi?
Ngoja mama, nikuulize. Hapana,
huyo bibi yako anafanya nini? Amsheni hawa mabibi zenu.
Huyu jamaa anakuja, amenipata hapa, badala mniweke maji mnakataa kuniwekea. Bwana mnakatazwa maji. Nawe mkataza. Nawe mkataza. Si nyinyi. Nani?
On the next episode of Ashoka.
How much more humiliation I have to endure because of you? Prepare to wage a war against Kaling. It is time for His Highness Jagannath and his daughter to leave for Patliputra.
How will you command an army?
I will not command the troops. Rather, Ashok will.
I don't know why, but it does not seem like the right time to leave Magad.
Even you shall fight a war very soon, Sushim.
This is Channel 1 Weekend. Thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back. Byron Abule is our sign language interpreter tonight. A man from Ituru village in Gatundu South is seeking financial support to help him undergo a kidney transplant after grappling with kidney failure for over 5 years. Francis Gashura Njoroge is urgently seeking to raise 3.6 million shillings to help him undergo the operation as his body continues to grow weaker by day.
Francis Gadhura Njoroge from Ituru village in Gatundu South will never forget the day he was traveling from Nakuru to Kisii County. Njoroge was involved in an accident and was rushed to hospital where he was urgently booked in the intensive care unit for 7 days. Upon regaining consciousness, Gadhura, who was in 2015 diagnosed with pneumonia and high blood pressure, was shocked to see doctors performing a dialysis on his body. That is when he was informed that his kidneys had failed.
Nimekuwa nikienda dialysis mara 2 kwa wiki na umekuwa muda mgumu sana juu imebidi ama huwa inabidi nipelekwe pengine na bibi yangu ili aweze kunisaidia juu hata kutembea ni shida.
According to the father of 2, a journey to undergo weekly dialysis started in Nakuru, Kenyatta National Hospital, Thika and Gatundu. A journey that he says has been financially draining and hard-hitting for him and his family.
Haya mambo imeleta shida kubwa juu hata kazi siwezi enda. Kuna wakati tulikuwa hata tumefuga kuku lakini tukashindwa, tukawamaliza juu mara mingi huwa tunakimbia hospitalini.
His journey to seek a kidney donor has also been frustrating as the willing donors then were disqualified over age limits and other body complications. Luckily, doctors have recently qualified his niece to donate the kidney organs, but the challenge is that Njoroge is unable to raise the 3.6 million shillings required by doctors to help him undergo the operation.
Nilikuwa nataka hii shida ishe, na hii shida kuisha ni kubadilishwa figo. Juu ile dialysis huwa ina manage tu ile kazi, si ati ni kutibu inatibu. So nilikuwa naomba juu nimepata mtu wa kunipea figo, nilikuwa naomba mnisaidie na hera ili niweze kuendeleza hiyo kazi ya kubadilishwa figo.
Ndiye ili aweze kutibiwa, ili aweze kutafutia hawa watoto wake na yeye pia aweze kusimama na kazi yake.
Donations can be channeled through paybill number 8016807 or to his personal number 0724301440. Ben Chumba reporting for Channel 1 News.
In other news, a lady in Meru Town who has ventured into oven fabricating business is challenging young people to always think outside the box. Doris Gasheri, the only woman employed by a PGK fabricator, says that taking the challenge has opened her eyes that life is not only about formal employment.
Young people have always been challenged to focus more on technical skills that can earn them a livelihood instead of seeking the white-collar jobs. It is based on this that one Doris Gasheri has ventured into fabrication of energy-saving jikos and ovens. The returns, she says, are quite encouraging.
So naambia wenzangu wale hawana kazi wasibague kazi. Hata ukipata ya mjengo ni kazi. Bora upate kitu ya kulisha familia ama kusomesha watoto wako.
Elsewhere, a well-wisher has moved in to reconstruct a bridge said to have claimed many lives along Ruiru River in Juja. According to the locals, the bridge has been a nightmare to them for over 15 years and has had a negative impact of development of the area.
Ilikuwa ni kibarua kigumu sana kuvuka kutoka pande ile kuja pande nyingine, sababu huoni hiyo miti hata hujui kama itakushikilia uzito ama namna gani, sababu mianya ilikuwa kubwa, watoto shule ilikuwa tangumu. Kukiwa na mafuriko hata kama hakuna huwezi jua utakanyanga wapi usiende na mto.
Still in Kiambu County, residents of Kabunge location in Lari constituency are now living in fear after being terrorized by a gang said to be taking advantage of the curfew hours. The locals are questioning how the gang is able to dodge the police patrols in the area. Elsewhere, Mandera Governor Ali Roba has warned Muslims in the county against floating COVID-19 prevention guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health. The governor urged the Muslim to observe the 1/3 rule set by Interfaith Council while visiting mosques as they approach Ramadan period.
We appeal to religious leaders and the entire Muslim population to be careful to ensure COVID-19 protocols are observed, as experts project that the third wave will probably flatten by mid-May 2021.
Meanwhile, Aquaculture Association of Kenya is sensitizing over 20,000 smallholder fish farmers in 34 counties in the country on innovative methods of producing affordable and quality fish supplies. The move is aimed at boosting gains made from the plastic ban imposed by the government 4 years ago on manufacture, importation, supply, distribution, and use of non-woven polypropylene, popularly known as thin plastics. This comes as a section of smallholder farmers in Busia County received free dairy animals and farm input to boost production and food security. Busia Deputy Governor Moses Mulomi says the farmers have a ready market for their production at Murende Technical Training College and a milk cooling plant in Matayos where they will take their milk for sale. Finally, residents of Museo Shinyalu constituency in Kakamega County woke up to the shocking discovery that a dog had feasted on a fetus allegedly aborted by a Form 4 student. According to the residents, the suspect was in her second trimester of pregnancy.
Kama mama nimehuzunika sana. Na serikali yetu imekuwa nzuri siku hizi. Ukipata mimba, utazaa, hata ukiwa bado uko na hiyo mimba, utaenda shule utasoma. Baada ya kuzaa pia utaendelea na masomo. Ni vizuri watoto wetu. Ukijua utaki kulea mtoto, usipate mimba.
The high number of teenage pregnancy cases recorded last year has brought to the fore an unsettling reality of a generation under siege. Just what is the way forward in this fourth and final part of the series, The Bane of Teen Pregnancy? Caroline Kamau and Safin Acheng Ouma interrogate existing interventions to deal with the scourge.
Jane Roslyn is a mentor mother at this youth-friendly facility in Mtwapa, Kilifi County. A mentor mother is a young girl who was also a teen mom who is given the responsibility to walk the journey of pregnancy with other teen girls. She got pregnant with twins when she was in Form 4.
So you can imagine, niko Form 4, mimi najikuta niko mdogo, nimebeba mimba. Tena on top of it ilikuwa mimba ya twins. So by that time I was like, how will I face my friends? What will the society think about me? Nona. How will my younger ones watanichukulia aje yani?
She faced firsthand the stigma associated with teen pregnancy.
Utakuta mzazi mwenyewe yuwa kutenga na wale wengine kiasi cha kuwa yuwaja kumwambia, usishikane na fulani, mbona fulani vile yake imeishia. Sasa yule mdogo akakijua dadangu ni mbaya, alienda kafanya hivi na hivi, akaishia kwa mali fulani. Licha ya hiyo, hata ukipata kwa majirani, utaambia usishikane na mtoto wa fulani ana tabia mbaya ndio maana akaishia kufanya nini, kushika mimba.
But she says she's lucky to have been able to benefit from this youth center in Kilifi County.
They talked to me, wakanielezea ile maana ya kuwa bado I stand a chance to be someone in the society. Walini build kiakili, kihisia, kimawazo. So napata yani, they made me strong.
The center is exclusively for teenage mothers. Most girls who visit this clinic are within the needy category. The center will give them a care package for both mother and baby.
The program was started specifically because of the high rise in numbers of teenage pregnancies, I would say, especially below 18 years.
Kilifi has 4 other such centers. In 2019, Kilifi recorded some 15,900 cases of teen pregnancy. This was among the highest in the country. This saw the county government, led by Governor Amason Kingi, take drastic measures to save girls from this menace.
So we came up with a multi-sector approach in looking at the issues of teenage pregnancies. We customized the national framework for provision of adolescent and youth sexual reproductive health services, the national one, to make the Kilifi County strategic plan of 2019 to 2022.
Community linkage meetings are also held from time to time to interrogate what is happening in the villages.
So after this linkage meeting, we have an activity we call Youth Fixed Day. And the Youth Fixed Day is a special day for the young people where they'll come, get services, get counseling, interact with the healthcare providers, interact with any other person that is invited to help to assist them. And you know, that is cross-cutting across the county, so that it is not, for example, an intervention of one sub-county alone. And we have seen that help us so much.
Some 250 healthcare workers have also been trained to be youth-friendly.
The health facility staff who are handling these young people have a mindset of that youth-friendly mindset. So this one has created a good, actually a big space for us to be able to reach out to so many young women.
This intervention has seen a significant reduction of teen pregnancy in this region from a high of 15,900 cases in 2019 to 1,195 cases in 2021. Though the issue is not as rampant in Mombasa County, a similar approach that has seen healthcare workers trained and equipped on youth-friendly services has also been undertaken.
You can say we have a standalone program that is gender-based violence and adolescent health program, whereby we have the county leadership. From the county leadership, it is cascaded to the sub-county leadership. We are offering a service integration, whereby those we have the standalone youth-friendly services, but the others, we integrate the services. So that's one of the interventions. We are offering trainings. Currently, as we said, there's a training ongoing for the healthcare workers across the county, whereby each sub-county we have at least 5 members. That goes for 30, and then from there we'll have on-job trainings.
The teenage pregnancy scourge has been linked to a myriad of contributing factors, which include, among others, transitional sex by girls from poor families to meet basic needs, increased cases of defilement. Others blame it on a lack of parental guidance, peer pressure, as well as uncontrolled exposure to sexual content on the internet. Which begs the question, what exactly needs to be done to win the battle against teenage pregnancy? Judith Owor, a program manager at Pamoja community-based organization in Sembe sub-county in Kisumu County, says there's need for a sustained awareness campaign and regulated distribution on contraceptives among the youth who are increasingly becoming sexually active.
My Health, My Choice is an intervention that targets girls of ages 13 to 17. We basically know that this is the age whereby the girls have started engaging in sex. So in this, we talk to them about different methods of contraceptives.
This approach is, however, far from gaining full traction, considering society's traditional conservative values and attitudes on safe sex.
When I'm equipped with the knowledge, then I'm good to go. I'll know the right time when I need to have sex. I know the protections that I need, the cautions that I need to take when having sex. So we are not normalizing it. That is why we are moving to contraceptive and the rest. We are equipping with information.
Stakeholders also advise that for these efforts to bear fruit, parents and caregivers must not be left out when conducting such youth awareness programs.
It is our men, it is our fathers, it is our grandfathers who would see that this is bad, and they come out and they help us. But we also have a lot of work to go and talk to our girls, to say no to early sex, to say no to early pregnancy. We must now go one-on-one.
The peer-to-peer strategy of awareness also attracts positive response from young people. The government's school re-entry policy for young mothers and pregnant girls has also proven to be a step in the right direction, but stakeholders are calling for an urgent need to review that policy to accommodate so-called social and economic support for young mothers as they resume learning.
Watoto wanaenda huko sijui kufanya nini. I'm told that the policy here is when someone has died, we must replace the deceased. Tunaenda huko to replace the deceased na watoto wetu, kucheza na watoto wetu. So tumekubaliana na county security team hapa, that thing is banned.
And we have resolved as a government that any child, any girl who gets pregnant in school is allowed to deliver the child and go back to school. And this is meant to give a new lease of life to our girls. And our intention is to put the interest of this child first as a government.
Msichana akipata mimba saa hii kwa area yako, mimi nitajua hiyo mimba ni yako. mpaka ile siku mtoto atazaa tuende tufanye DNA. Lakini kabla hajazaa, wewe ndio utaenda kununua, utapeleka kliniki, wewe ndio utapeleka mpaka azae.
Hopefully such tough talk, reviewed policies and intervention will bear fruit. The picture painted in the 4 counties of Mombasa, Kilifi, Kisumu and Kakamega is a clear call for the government, non-government organizations and other stakeholders to rise to the occasion for a common and very crucial goal, that of conclusively addressing the teenage pregnancy menace. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 News.
The end of a four-part series on the bane of teenage pregnancy, revealing so much about the tales of teen mothers and the menace on teen pregnancies. We hope necessary action will be taken to address that. And thanks to Caroline Kamau and Safin Acheng Ouma and the whole team that made the project a success. All right, we are taking a second break right here on Channel 1 Weekend. Keep interacting with us. I'll be going through your feedback before the till end of this broadcast. Let's have that break.
Next on, I will find a way to keep you from Ivan, Mariana. You have to be mine.
Move to the other office and do absolutely everything that my dad tells you to do, understood?
You still want more time?
Yes!
More time than I've given through the years, and you can try to find out if I'm still available.
I have to make sure I win Constanza over.
Max!
All that matters to me is that you love me. And nothing else.
Nichukulie kwa mfano ndani ya matatu.
Yaani mtu mzima na miaka zake, hizo miaka zote mtu ajui kujua kuandika note, note tu peke yake. Kusoma kweli itasaidia.
Jana nini nakusumbua na nini?
Nauliza ni bwana.
Don't you dare insult me, okay?
Mama yetu.
Don't you dare.
Haya, kwani umepita? Nini wewe? Yaani wataka kumpiga. Huwezi mpika mpike nini?
Time for the sport news. Ahead of the World Rally Championship in June, Naivasha Sub-County Hospital has been identified as the first emergency response center for participants of the global event. The hospital ICU will receive medical and staff support from the organizers of the championship set to be held mid this year. This RWC medical team toured the Sub-County Hospital today to identify areas where they would offer support before and during the event. This comes just weeks after every marshal of the event undertook 3 trainings to ensure that they are well equipped and confident to carry out their roles effectively during the rally to be held on the 24th to 27th of June this year. Kenya ran a WRC candidate event in 2019, but the difference this year will be the elaborate preparation given the global status of the FABOD event.
The Hell's Gate stage is expected to sign off the Safari Rally Kenya on a high and will be done twice, with the initial run serving as a normal stage and the second run being the designated power stage, where World Rally teams will earn bonus championship points for fastest times. The power stage will be the last competitive section of the WRC Safari. WRC Safari Rally CEO Phineas Kimathi noted that the power stage will be televised live, giving the world a scenic look at what the country has to offer, adding that the power stage will also present a great opportunity to market the country as a viable tourist destination.
This is part of our natural assets, and this is something that cannot be duplicated. And we want to say, look, this is what God has blessed Kenya with. And we want to share this view, this iconic site with the rest of the world. Because again, like I said, if you light a candle and you cover it, then it doesn't serve the purpose. So when we bring all these television cameras here, I am sure this park will have immense benefits, and we can double the number of visitors coming to this park by just the level of publicity that we are going to generate for this park.
The live WRC TV production at Hell's Gate National Park will also showcase the scenic view of the country's geothermal energy plant in Naivasha.
The other thing that we want to do in the legacy project is road safety. And this is under discussion at a very high level, and we are going to be rolling out some programs geared towards improving road safety. As you know, the main slogan of FIA is Action for Road Safety.
The safari will take place in Nairobi through to the Great Rift Valley, around Lake Region and Elementaita, with the service park being at the KWS Training Institute Naivasha on the main Nairobi to Nakuru Road. Administrative checks will begin on Monday, June 21st in Naivasha. It will be the first time a modern-day WRC rally car will have set foot on African soil in 19 years.
Zambian side Nkana earned their first points of this season's CAF Confederations Cup after beating Tanzanian side Namungo 1-0 to move up to third position in Group D. The two teams began the match bottom on the table after losing their first two opening matches and were desperate for a win to increase their chances of making it to the quarterfinals. But it was Nkana who managed to find the back of the net through Diamond Chikwekwe in the 69th minute of the game. The win sees them sit third behind Pyramids and Raja Casablanca. Al Ali, Benghazi and Orlando Pirates will clash in the late kick-off encounter, to be televised live on KBC Channel 1 from 10 p.m. tonight. Southampton fought back from 2 goals down to beat Burnley 3-2 and claim a crucial 3 points in the battle for Premier League survival. The two sides came into game level on 33 points, and Burnley charged in front of the thrilling first half of the sunny St. Mary's Stadium. Chris Wood fired in an early penalty before knocking down Ben Mee's long ball off Metaj to volley in a fine second goal. But Southampton, who welcomed back Danny and Theo Waltok from injury, hit straight back, with midfielder Stuart Armstrong whipping in the ball, and the ex-Burnley striker Cooley slotted in his 10th goal of the season to equalize just before halftime. The Saints broke Burnley's resistance in the second half as Nathan Redmond volleyed them in front. That win lifted Southampton up to 13th in the table, 10 points clear of the relegation zone with 8 games left. Tottenham were held to a 2-2 draw by Newcastle in the other match. And that brings us to the end of Channel 1 Weekend. Tonight, we will not have Family Matters because we are having a match beginning 10 p.m. pitting Al Ahly and Orlando Pirates, which are clashing in a late night encounter. And that's why the show will continue next week. But thank you for your feedback. Thank you for interacting with us. And Joseph Wajeri, you're tuned in from ECNet, Oloitoktok, that's on Twitter. And Norman Kimngetij, happy Easter to you too. Thank you. Silvanas Lumbasi, tuned in and watching from Malava Cabras. Thank you also, Paul Mutuku. You, I was saying, you're watching your favorite KBC Channel 1 Weekend from Ziwani Karioko. Thank you so much. I appreciate Silvanas Lumbasi tuned in as well. Quickly on Facebook, we had a number of you watching and interacting with us. Stephen